Hi there, Gemini. Welcome to your mid-July 2021 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. Now I can't unread what I read. Somebody always thinks I'm saying it's raining here. It's kind of funny, but now I think of it whenever I say it. And I have the windows open, and it looks like planes are going by. Oh, there's your card. I love when that's the first one that comes out. That's always nice. Who would have thunk it that the Lover's card would be associated with Gemini? I certainly didn't. Nothing against Gemini, but you're so cerebral, I would associate you with more of the Four of Swords, So I'm going to pick an additional card. Okay, well, it looks like I'm doing like a love reading here. I don't know. I mean, not just because of the Lover's card. I want to make that clear. No, it could be something. I'll try to make it universal. I prefer making it universal. The heart of the matter, so this is the main focus right now, is the Lover's card. The Lover's card can be a choice. And I read somewhere, I think I've said this before to you, that Gemini is considered a very indecisive sign. Only you can decide that. I knew about Libra, that's a given, but Pisces as well. And I read somewhere that when people have chronic indecision, it's because they're quite second-guessing themselves. And I thought that was really on point, because I think that in my case, that's exactly what's happening. It's not so much wanting it all, because I think with Gemini, sometimes with you, it can be that you want everything. You know that they say, was it FOMO, fear of missing out? That's very Gemini-esque, because it's like you want it, you're afraid that if you choose one thing, you're going to miss out on another thing. And that can include people. And, I've been learning about polyamory, and I really think that even though it's very, out of the mainstream, when it's done at the highest level of consciousness, I think that there is that sort of desire to not limit oneself to one person. So I suppose it could be something like that. But see, that's an ethical practice, because cheating is, going behind somebody's back, and that's not ethical. So, yeah, it's a very interesting conundrum there. Now, this could have something to do with your work, the type of work that you're doing, for sure. I'll get, as I move along, we might see other things that show that. In the past position, we have the Four of Swords, so that indicates a rest period, that you were reflecting, that you were taking time, you were taking space, as they call it, for yourself. Maybe within a coupled relationship, and sometimes that could, like if somebody's legally married or they're at least living together, they could be needing that space in order to be able to think about what they want to do about the situation. And so reflecting, maybe in some cases, it's not so much a vacation. The Four of Swords is about physical rejuvenation, so I suppose it could be just like sitting on a beach and all of that, but it really does seem more thoughtful than just going on a vacation. But I could see that, and like, let's say you went on a vacation and now you're not sure that you want to be with that person, because like if you went alone and that gave you that space to see what life is like without constantly being with someone, I could see it on that level, and that now you feel like, oh man, this person's draining me. This person is incompatible with me. That's kind of what, legal separations are all about as well, I think. I mean, it's like seeing how life is without that person and being able to make your decision without having that person like breathing down your neck. So those kinds of things. If this is related to a job situation, you may have had you may have taken not a what do they call that, mental health day, but it's like an extended mental health day. Maybe you were on medical leave or you had some kind of a leave that allowed you to have time off, but you weren't completely severed from the company. The higher message is connected to the Queen of Wands. Now, there can be someone, this could be like an authority figure, a boss, for instance, that is, even in the upright position, I could see them as being kind of the problem in a sense. I have to be very careful because someone flipped out when I dissed the Queen of Wands. And so now every time I say it, I don't even know what sign they are. If they would still, they probably aren't watching me anymore because they were really furious. And it was, I said the Queen of Wands was a drama queen, maybe a control freak. It didn't go over very well. But I do see, you see, the Queen of Wands is connected to Sagittarius, and I'm a sun in Sagittarius, so I guess I would be dissing myself, wouldn't I? But, I really see it more as a Leo energy. And she's holding a sunflower. I say this every time just to try to petition the gods, to change this somehow. But really, when I think of Leo, and this is not a slam on Leo, but Leo being a fire sign, but also being ruled by the sun. So there's kind of this larger than life quality and this theatrical kind of quality. People like this tend to gravitate towards positions of leadership if they're in a company, for instance. And they can be very warm and they can be very positive with the people that are under them, but they can be very, the word that came to mind is coercive. They can want what they want, domineering. And that can be problematic when someone else is, not receptive to that type of behavior. And if you also had a mother who was like this, then this can exacerbate those triggering, points. And it can make you feel like you're kind of in this, that you are trapped, that you have to do the bidding of this person. This could also be that you are playing out somebody else's dreams for you, like a parent, a mother. And even though younger people may be the most vulnerable to this because they're very freshly adult in their adulthood and they're still figuring things out and very connected to the past, even middle-aged people can wake up one day and realize that they have been living somebody else's life. And they may have a good relationship with that parent, but they're trying to please that person because that person may have had their own dreams that they hadn't fulfilled. So it's very important to sort things out in your mind so that you are doing what you want to do. And this is, I think that the midlife crisis is really coming into yourself and then also feeling that mortality, even though we may be eternal beings. In this lifetime, what we want to accomplish and knowing that there's finite years left. And that doesn't have to lead to some kind of frenzied action, but by the same token, if the person doesn't feel like they're doing what they came here to do, then gosh, do it as much as you can without, your life just completely being up in the air. But anyway, what crosses you is the Ten of Cups. Now, oh, one more thing I want to say about this that's very important, because the Queen of Wands can embody you. And what this can mean is that you are coming into your own power, your own sense of self. Gemini can be the eternal chameleon, the eternal shapeshifter. So figuring out what you want can be a lifelong process. You may wear many hats, and that's okay. But just the more that you can gain clarity on what you want in this moment, not necessarily for the rest of your life, but in this moment, I feel like the more chance you have of future success and clarity. What crosses you is the Ten of Cups. So this is a card of marriage, and this is a card of family harmony. If for some reason you have been having an affair, I don't think, the Lover's card, it seems like it's something along those lines. I would say more like intimacy issues. So if you have kind of been playing a role, let's say you are somebody who is married and you have kids and you're doing the whole spiel and you're just not feeling it anymore. Maybe your children are a little bit older and you're just like feeling like you don't need to be that cohesive family unit in the same way that when they were younger. And it's making you think, and you're starting to think about your primary relationship. And there, it could easily have been because if you have children, if you have, careers and things like that, that you did not really bond with your partner on a deep level. It was more superficial. And I think it's so easy to do when you have those distractions. So can this marriage be saved? You may be ready to throw in the towel. And when I say marriage, obviously I'm talking about committed partnership. Can it be saved? Is it something that is unsalvageable? Maybe you think it is, but it really isn't. Those kinds of issues may be, like, especially if you are ready to just book, you're ready to fly. You may not want, or maybe you are attracted to somebody else and you feel like this strong physical desire for somebody else. Really, take a look at that and see what's going on beneath the surface, because it could be that you simply haven't done what you need to do on that level with that primary relationship, and that you would be throwing it out prematurely. However, there could be it could be the exact opposite, that you're clinging to a relationship, especially if you have the moon in a water sign or Taurus, Earth, but fixed sign. Or if you have inner planets in Cancer, Gemini, you're not going to be the typical Gemini. You may be very sentimental and very prone to keeping something afloat that needs to just die already. And die is a harsh way of putting it, but that needs to transform into something else. And it could be affecting your family. That might be because, now that I see this, I'm like, yeah. So it's coming in as the Death card. What is meant to leave you must leave you. Isn't it interesting? Now, you did have a lunar eclipse in Sag that affects the house of partnership, and that, a lunar eclipse can be, just something, ending in a grand fashion. But even the solar eclipse in your sign may be informing this first half of July reading, Gemini, now that I think about it, because it really can be about this transition that is provided by the shifts of the eclipse. And this could be in the area of relationship. And so the first outcome card, but you have to embrace that. And so I did pick an additional card, and well, to this one, but I had as the outcome the Four of Cups, and you see the dynamic here. Somebody, now that's the clouds, that could represent the universe, offering this person a cup, which symbolizes the water element and emotions. And the person is stone-faced. The person is not feeling it, meaning that they're not in love with that person. They don't care about that person in the way that that person cares about them. So it's kind of a one-sided thing. I think that when I get these types of cards as the outcome cards, I think of them as cautionary tales based on the card that precedes them. So if the person refuses to see that something has ended, they will continue to be in this energetic state of blandness, lack of satisfaction, maybe in some cases low-grade depression, or just feeling, there's a term ennui, which means just kind of, it's not even boredom. I mean, it's just like a nothingness, you know what I mean? And that is certainly not a high vibration, to say the least. So I picked an additional card to see what it represents, and it's the Seven of Swords. This is a card of doing something or strategizing in the background, which means that you acknowledge that something is over with and you're willing to move on, but you want to do it in a very mindful way. It can also mean that you're doing things alone. So you're not trying to, and that's kind of, based on that sense of strategizing. It's also kind of living your life more self-contained. Detaching, because this is swords, so it's connected to the air element. It's detaching. Detachment isn't the cold shoulder. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you're detaching in love so that you can prepare for the next stage, which would be maybe leaving this relationship. But when you feel that that is appropriate. For other people, they may simply have to adjust their own behavior, and maybe that will keep the relationship alive, if they want it alive, you know what I mean? So that's what I have for you. I hope it resonated. I know I really focused on relationship issues, but it is what it is. It's just felt right to me in this moment. If you would like a private reading, I am primarily an astrologer, but I do offer tarot readings too, but I have combination readings with the tarot and the chart, as well as a deep dive reading, which is just pure astrology if you like that, if you prefer that. The link is below. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.